Good morning, everybody. This is Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub coming at you live February 3rd, 11:21 a.m. And there's a lot going on today in the crypto world. It's going to get really interesting coming up here. I just wanted to get online here for a little lunch break and kind of do another lunch break episode. I love doing these little ones because it's nothing really pre-planned, and it's just me kind of going through some news and just talking about what's going on immediately in this crypto world today. And there is a lot going on. As you can see right now, they are having the Microstrategy World Now conference going on. And I did go ahead and sign up for that here. And I'm going to be watching some of these as I work today on the side and listen to some of these speakers. If you don't know who Microstrategies is, Michael Saylor is the CEO, and he was the first large corporation to dump $500 million of Bitcoin onto his business ledger and his corporate ledger or corporate treasury. And it was a bold move, and he sent waves throughout the corporate world and the Bitcoin world as well. And he did this without the price even really making any type of fluctuations, and without shooting the price up. And there's lots of videos that go into how he did this, a lot of OTC, over-the-counter type of trades, a little bit at a time in order to achieve this. But he has kind of become the bishop of Bitcoin and evangelizing the Bitcoin asset instead of cash, because cash is trash, to the rest of the corporate world and to some of the large institutional big money. And today he is doing this Microstrategy World Now conference to talk about how to buy Bitcoin and implement Bitcoin into your corporate treasury strategy. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of corporate executives and CEOs attending this conference. And I think after this, we will definitely see a lot of activity going on in the Bitcoin world and in the crypto world as well. A lot of these corporations are not only going to want to just invest in Bitcoin, they're going to want to go a step further and include decentralized finance, or DeFi, into their corporate treasury strategies. So in the meantime here, let's take a quick look at CoinGecko, see where the market is right now. Right now, according to CoinGecko, Bitcoin is at 37,125. It's up 1.2% in the last hour, and this conference just started about 30 minutes ago. It's up 6.6% in 24 hours and 13.8% in 7 days. So it's going on another spike. Ethereum is at an all-time high at $1,611.47. It was just $1,500 this morning, and so it's gone up by $100 in just a couple hours here. 1.3% to be exact in 1 hour. So I'm doing pretty well on my Ethereum. I'm actually mining some Ethereum right here with my two miners, with a couple GPUs on my desktop here. And as you can see, yeah, I got 0.49. I'm about to hit 0.5, and that'll cash and drop into my wallet. And 0.5 Ethereum is probably, I think it's around $80. So hey, $80 every couple weeks, about 160 a month. You can't go wrong with that. I'm thinking it'll probably become a little more difficult the more in demand Ethereum gets. Polkadot is at $19. People say it's the Ethereum killer. I don't believe in Ethereum killers anymore. I think that's kind of a 2017 concept. There's going to be a lot of complementary Ethereum style platforms and blockchains on the in the cryptocurrency world. And it's not just about currency anymore. That's kind of an aged concept. You hear me talking sometimes about Bitcoin maximalists and people that believe that Bitcoin is the only legit and the rest are just crap tokens. That's absolutely not true, in my opinion. Ethereum allowed smart contracts and kind of became the world computer, and it moved it beyond just digital gold and some kind of digital asset, and it allowed smart contracts to happen. And now the third wave that's happening is DeFi, decentralized finance. and it is basically, well, if not replacing the banks, at least the banks are going to have to adjust. It's kind of the Uber of finance. Taxi cabs had to adjust. It's the Netflix of the video rental world. It's, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are doing for finance and the banking industry what Netflix did to the video world, what Uber did to the ride, the taxi service, ride services world. Let me see what else. What Airbnb has done to the hotel world. It's just put the power of the purchasing and the company into the user's domain. So I think that's a great thing. Banks have been stomping on us and taking control and fining us, nickel and diming us to death on an individual level and on an institutional level. They've basically created a class hierarchy and made it nearly impossible for a lot of people to be able to advance in society due to the power of the pen. And they blame it on other things, but in the end it all comes down to money and the class system that has been implemented upon us by the banks. So Bitcoin to me is my way of going around this, and then cryptocurrency in general and the way it's moving is to me the future. So yes, I'm speculating, and everybody's speculating who's getting into cryptocurrency, and I want the price of the token to go up, of course, but I'm also betting on the future. I'm betting on all this being the future of money, the future of the internet, the future of computers, and the future of data. And data to me is the new oil. People pay big money for oil. For instance, the CEO of Secret Network, who's bringing privacy to the blockchain, he used to work for Snapchat, and he's talking about anonymous auctions for data. And when he worked for Snapchat, basically he was dealing with all these companies bidding for the data that was gathered by Snapchat, and whoever paid the highest price was the one who won that data. So data is the new oil. It is a new commodity, and it's highly valued. People say that oil has gone to the bottom. Well, data is floating to the top as the new commodity, and I won't be surprised if any type of new currency will be pegged on data, just like the dollar was pegged on oil. Who knows? But it's just kind of some observation I've made. Back to MicroStrategies. Let's take a quick look about what MicroStrategies actually does and who Michael Saylor is. Let's just do a quick Google search on Michael Saylor. Oops, I just spelled his name wrong. But Google knows. I follow him on Twitter as well. He's an American entrepreneur and business executive who co-founded and leads MicroStrategy, a company which provides business intelligence, mobile software, and cloud-based services. Saylor authored the 2012 book, The Mobile Wave, How Mobile Intelligence Will Change Everything. He's an extremely smart guy. I've listened to some interviews with him with several different people. He's open to interviews with lots of different people. He's operates with an open door. He operates with an open mind, and there's a reason that he's a billionaire. He's a rocket scientist as well. This guy is on the Bitcoin, and for any of you who has a friend that tells you that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and internet funny money, who's correct? Michael Saylor or your friend on Facebook? I mean, come on, think about it. Even Elon Musk, the richest person in the world, says that he's a little bit late to the party, but he supports Bitcoin. And if the richest person in the world is behind Bitcoin, I think your friend on Facebook, probably wrong. So anyway, I've been investing in Bitcoin and dollar cost averaging since 2018, I guess, is when I first got into cryptocurrency. And actually, it's funny, I bought Dogecoin for my first cryptocurrency. Now I'm seeing Dogecoin as one of the fastest growing cryptocurrencies because of all this new discovered, with all the Wall Street bets going on and people shorting the people destroying the shorts that these hedge funds are doing. Well, a lot of people have connected onto Dogecoin because of that. But people shouldn't stop at Dogecoin. Use Dogecoin as an entry point, but don't invest in it's not financial advice, but don't put all your marbles in Dogecoin. Move on to Bitcoin and other more sound and solid cryptocurrencies. This guy here, Digital Asset News, he's great if you want to learn more about cryptocurrency. He has a great website called Dan Teaches Crypto. Go to his YouTube channels. I've learned so much from this guy. And let's see here. Here he's talking about, he's broadcasting the Michael Saylor conference right now. This whole conference is about reserve assets. The CEO's question is usually this: how do we change liquid assets into illiquid assets and our illiquid assets into liquid assets? Cash is not a liability. Basically, what a lot of these CEOs and corporate execs that are attending this conference are trying to figure out is there's a lot of devaluation of the dollar going on, especially with all these $1 trillion stimulus pumps that are going out to the economy. And in 2020 alone, 22% of all the dollars ever made were made last year. Think about that. Since what, 1914, I guess, when the dollar got off the gold standard? Since then, all the dollars that were ever made, 1/5 of those dollars were made last year. Something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong, and all these CEOs and these corporate executives understand this, and they know they've got to do something, and they've seen what Michael Saylor's done, and he's made tons of money by putting at least $500 million from the get-go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's done nothing but appreciate. It's solid, it's sound, it has great fundamentals. It's not going to, it has a limit of 21 million Bitcoin, and that's all that will ever be made. So yeah, it has scarcity. It is sound, and there are plenty of people that will argue it better than I. I'm not out to apologize and create apologetics for Bitcoin. I know that it is a sound asset, and that's why I've been investing it, and that's why I've also been investing in other types of cryptocurrencies as well. I believe in solid projects and the progression of this technology into the future. But anyway, go to this MicroStrategies conference, take a look. Let's take a look here at some of the speakers at this conference. We have this guy, from the executive director at the Walt Disney Company, director of global business intelligence for Pfizer, biologist and stress expert at iQity, Visa, Dennis Leal, ServiceNow, Starbucks, Cox Automotive, Deloitte, Amy Parks is a partner, Societe Generale, so got some French people coming up in here, ABC owned TV stations, Gemini Exchange, there's people from MicroStrategy, of course. These are all speakers at this conference, giving some of their insights into the market and what's going on with the dollar. The dollar is now basically become trash in a lot of people's eyes, and people are scrambling around trying to figure out what to do with it. Here we have the director of Oracle Database Product Management of Oracle speaking. Look at all these speakers. It's just insane. There's a lot of very prestigious people. Let's take a quick look at the attendee directory. Of course, Michael Saylor here. I'll connect with Michael Saylor. He'll shoot me an email back, I'm sure. So these are all attendees. Let me take a look here. Yeah. Of course, a lot of MicroStrategy people. He probably has the whole company there. U.S. Census Bureau. Huh. Interesting. Yep. Veterans Affairs. Fidelity Digital Assets. Deloitte. Defense Innovation. A lot of large corporations use MicroStrategies, and then a lot of government organizations use MicroStrategies. So MicroStrategies, eBay, MicroStrategy, Grayscale, University of Virginia, Coinbase. Just tons of different people here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to be listening to this on the side all day, and here's what MicroStrategies does. They build hyper intelligence into your websites, and they analyze data. They use plugins to plug into your Microsoft Office or whatever programs you're using. Whenever you're surfing the web at work, it'll find keywords. If you need, for instance, people working in large box stores and the employees need to be able to scan and sign something, they create software that connects to databases for that. This is just huge business. So yeah, if you have the time today, don't sit around and watch me. Watch this. Let me take a quick look at the Theta stream. Okay, so Theta stream is going good. So after I finish here, why don't you go in and log on that? Let's take a quick back look at CoinGecko, Bitcoin. Let me just refresh it. Bitcoin's okay, 36,987, so it's hovering right around there. Chainlink is at 24,000. It was at 25,000 this morning. Chainlink is another monster. It's going to be pumping. Chainlink is the Oracle connection. That is the connector between the data and the blockchain. I can imagine a lot of programs that MicroStrategies deals with will be using Chainlink. Chainlink now is still building lots of new innovations and lots of new things going on. Chainlink Labs is where you'll want to look at if you want to get a better idea about what Chainlink does. A lot of people project it to reach $100 very soon per token. It would be amazing for me because I've been stacking on Chainlink for quite a while. But they have been working on allowing staking on their platform, and when you stake an asset, you lock it into the network. And the way the mechanics work, the more people stake on the network and have their currency and their tokens locked into the network, the more secure the network is. And it allows less probability or an impossibility for what's called a 51% attack, where more than 51% of the nodes on one of these decentralized networks are owned by one person and can influence or control the decisions and policies and protocols made on these platforms. So when you stake your tokens, you secure the network that way, and Chainlink hasn't even implemented staking on the network yet for the general token holder. The node operators can stake, but the general token holder has not been able to stake yet, and that is coming very soon. And I imagine once that comes, things are just going to go buck wild. They're also implementing some of these new security protocols called Town Crier, Mixicals, and Deco. These will allow for things like privacy on the decentralized network. It's going to be huge once this stuff starts getting into the mainstream platform. I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here. But the research team here is incredible. They have Ari Jules as their star, their darling, and I've read a little bit about what this guy does, and anything he does has been successful. So look into Chainlink if you haven't. I'm definitely an investor into Chainlink, and hopefully it will do what it's supposed to do, and we'll be doing very well in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna back to this MicroStrategy world now. I'm gonna log on and take a look and basically let this run the entire day. Let me take one more look at the Theta stream. Okay, everything's going good. All right, real quickly, I want to look at some of these other tokens and just kind of let you guys know what I've been invested in. Yes, Chainlink, and then Stellar is kind of a banker's coin. I'm not invested in it. I sold it a long time ago, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with this. With all the stuff that's been going on with XRP and Stellar, both of them are kind of banker's coins, and meaning that they've been working hand in hand with the banks. A lot of people criticize them as it takes away from the spirit of what cryptocurrency is about, which is to get away from the banks and circumvent the banks. However, the banks do control everything, And the counter argument would be that you don't want to completely subvert the banks, because then you'll end up on the losing side once banks finally do innovate. They have a point there. You want to work in the middle and allow for innovation and progress, but allow for regulations and security to remain in place. And that's what a lot of the people that support XRP and Stellar surmise, is that they want to work with the banks instead of against the banks, as the banks are the ones that have been have gained experience in this type of sector for all time. So, but I am getting pretty heavily invested in Quant Network, which they are also working with banks. And my next detailed video will be over the Quant Network. It's at $37.88 right now. It's been doing very well. And what they have created is an overledger to work with banks and financial institutions and corporations and anybody, but mainly banks, who will be working with their own central bank digital currencies. And all these banks will be implementing and creating their own digital currencies and their own blockchains for their own internal purposes. However, when they want to communicate with anybody outside of their own network, they might have to deal with some other kind of platform or some other kind of blockchain. What Quant does, it creates an overledger for it. It's basically the Windows of blockchain, and it allows for interoperability between all different types of blockchains and all different types of platforms, and it's basically an umbrella that sits on top of all these blockchains and allows them to communicate to each other. It is not open source. It is it will be corporate owned, which a lot of people who believe fully in decentralization will not be down with this concept. I really personally can't care. I just, I do love decentralization and pointing my finger at the banks, but at the same time, I got to be a realist and acknowledge that there do need to be some solutions for banks to be able to talk to each other, and maybe some of these things that we're being oppressed by these high fees and all these charges and nickel and diming us to death, is not necessarily something that they're out trying to be malicious and do to us as people, but maybe kind of a result of a faulty system using Swift, and then all these charges that accumulate by having to make software try to talk to each other and the time it takes. So the cost of a lot of that overhead. So I don't want to just approach the world with the view that everybody's out to get me. It's kind of a faulty way to think. So and this could be a good solution. Quant could be a great solution to that. Aave, I'm pretty heavily invested in Aave, and I got in early, which I'm glad is now at $342.72 a token. I got in at like $35. And that has been shooting up the ranks. I believe Aave will be a top 10 token. I think Quant, if it catches ground, will be a top 10 token. Chainlink is already a top 10 token. I think synthetic networks could possibly be a top 10 token. I think Bitcoin Cash needs to be replaced. I think Binance Coin needs to go out of the top 10. I think Tether will have its day of reckoning once the regulatory arms of governments get a hold of Tether. I think it's gonna completely bomb, and that's gonna create a huge wave in the crypto world. Probably we'll see a lot of assets lose a lot of money, and a lot of people might lose a lot of money because of this. But I think it will bring in some different types of stable coins for a while, but it might usher in the era of DAI, which is a decentralized stable coin. And I like DAI. I would like to do an entire video dedicated completely to DAI. It's right here, and it's a stable coin, and it's made by the MakerDAO decentralized finance ecosystem, in which you lock up your Ethereum on there and the Maker protocol, and you can borrow against your Ethereum, and you get DAI stablecoin in return. You can earn interest on DAI, and it's fully decentralized. So yeah, anyway, that's just kind of a rundown on some of what I think is going to be in the top 10, some of my favorites. I am going to go over here and start watching some of these videos now. Let me take a quick look at my Theta stream. Okay, everything's all good. All right, man. Let me turn this back on. Yeah, you guys have a good day. Take a quick look at some of these coins I suggested. Chainlink, Aave, look into Ethereum, look into Polkadot. Cardano's good. I am invested in Cardano. Cardano's done some great things in the, Cardano's about to jump in to the, well, they are in the Goguen era, I believe. They were in the Shelley era. And anyway, I have an entire video on Cardano that explains all this. So go back on my video list and watch it. Watch my Chainlink video. I just put on a new video called the God Protocol about some updates about what's going on with Chainlink and explaining what the God Protocol is. And then I have another video before that explains what Chainlink does called Oracles. Look at those two videos. Chainlink, I believe, is going to be in the top 5 at least. So yeah, Uniswap, decentralized finance, been doing very well as well. That's a decentralized exchange, so there's no one centralized entity controlling all the trades, so that's really cool. So yeah, anyway, I've just been kind of rambling, so I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna watch that conference and get to work. All right, take care, bye.